The current time accounts for highest life expectancy on the planet, least wars and hence least death from wars, least death from starvation, least death from diseases, highest availability of food, unimaginable material satisfaction that lay at our disposal. Given it is the best time to be alive, it is to be naturally expected that humans would, or at least should, be happier than ever before. But the data suggests otherwise. Depression and anxiety among young adults and teenagers are going off the roof. Suicide rates are at its highest in human history. People are unhappy and unfulfilled and unsatisfied with their lives and with almost everything that they are doing in it. And it's only getting worse. Why is that? Press subscribe and hit the bell icon to never miss an update on the Young Conservatives. A little diagnosis into the situation shows a tremendous lack of purpose and hence meaning in people's lives. But why is meaning important? What has meaning got to do with living a fulfilled life or a life in which you find yourself more often happy and satisfied than not? Here's a sad reality. Life is suffering. Thus, for most of human history, humans have been trying to establish ways to conduct oneself in life to keep away from as much of suffering and malevolence as possible. Almost all sacred scriptures from almost all religions consist of this fundamental underlying meta-narrative. That is, how to conduct yourself in the best possible manner for your own good and of those around you. No matter how hard you try to pursue happiness, life repels it. The closer you try to get, the further it gets from you. The only way to reach any bit of happiness whatsoever is if you can find a way to reach meaning. And the best way to reach meaning is through purpose. And the best way to have a purpose is through voluntary adoption of responsibility. As Jordan Peterson writes in 12 Rules for Life, quote, "To stand up straight with your shoulders back is to accept the terrible responsibility of life with eyes wide open. It means deciding to voluntarily transform the chaos of potential into the realities of habitable order. It means adopting the burden of self-conscious vulnerability and accepting the end of the unconscious paradise of childhood, where finitude and mortality are only dimly comprehended. It means willingly undertaking the sacrifices necessary to generate a productive and meaningful reality. It means acting to please God in the ancient language. Remember that time when you were sad and you really wanted to be happy, but you had no clue how to go about doing that. That's what happens when you try to chase something you can't. Remember that time when you were given an important task which gave you a sense of meaning because you had a purpose which when you accomplished made you a little happy. That's what happens when you chase something you can, trying to have a purpose, accomplishing which makes you satisfied, fulfilled and hence a little happy. As Nietzsche wrote, quote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Don't chase happiness, it is only a byproduct. Rather, the goal in life should be to find meaning. You can't always be happy, but you can always do something meaningful. Children have been taught that life is beautiful, that they can do whatever they want in life, that they can become whatever they want in life, that they can have whatever they want in life. The balloon is too bloated with innocence. The cup is overflowing with idealism. It is only when a cup is filled to the brim that tea spills over when hit with a little force. You would need a much larger force to spill tea over from a half-filled cup. That cup is today's children and young adults. That tea is their bloated false sense of optimism. And that force is the ever-prevalent suffering. It is only when you are too soft, too hopeful, too assured of yourself, too optimistic, that you can be hurt easily, not otherwise. And so, when you have a generation growing up getting participation medals for coming 50th in a competition, it is no wonder they get anxious and depressed and resentful when they don't get any medals for coming 50th in life. Reuters reported in 2019 that suicidal thinking, severe depression and rates of self-injury among US college students more than doubled over less than a decade. The British Prime Minister recently appointed a Minister of Loneliness. These are clear evidences of the gravity of the problem. Widely cited reasons behind this are increased drug and opioid addiction, less human interaction and more interaction with gadgets, especially smartphones, and young people's fears for their future. But the overlying reason, it seems, is the adoption of a cosmopolitan Marxist pseudo-moralistic relativism in our societies. Other side effects of this appalling ideology include the denigration of religion and nationalism, which have been principal sources of meaning and value in people's lives for generations. Thus, when you don't have to serve a god, when you don't have to serve a nation, when you don't have to serve yourself, it ends up becoming the perfect recipe for a nihilistic catastrophe, a lack of meaning and purpose, hence an unhappy life. The core of the solution has to be the re-emergence of meaning in people's lives. People again need to start serving someone, God, nation, or themselves, or something else. People again need to find their why. Don't forget to subscribe and share. Till next time, goodbye.